What is up, everybody? In today's video we are going to see how easy or difficult it is to weld up your own custom exhaust. All that in today's episode. My name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So, here it is. The entire exhaust system done by yours truly. It is custom. It isn't incredible, but it will work. So we are down to just a couple things left. We have the full exhaust to do, the wiring harness, and then the fuel lines, right? Those are gonna be the main things. We also got stuff figured out for the power steering. You guys mentioned in a couple videos ago that it would just be worth it to figure out the power steering rather than plugging it and then figuring it out later. So I got all the lines and stuff ordered for that. But today we are going to focus on the exhaust. Now I decided to go with a full 3-inch stainless steel exhaust with a resonator and a muffler. So for the actual welder, it is just flux core, but it's stainless steel gasless flux core. So we are going to see how this actually goes. But it shouldn't rust because it is stainless steel. So if you are using just regular flux core of just steel, it will rust, and obviously being on the exhaust, you don't want the actual welds, the thing holding it together, to actually rust. So that is why we switched to the stainless steel flux core. So before we even get underneath the car, I'm going to take a couple sections of the back end of the exhaust, just a straight pipe because we won't use all the material. And I'm just gonna find out what settings this material likes to be burned at and what is gonna make a nice strong weld, because obviously we don't want our exhaust system crapping out on us. So I'm gonna do that and come back to you. I'll show you just a couple inch-long strips of just different settings and what worked best. So if you guys can see here, some of these are just like my first practice welds, and you can see that like some of them just got better, and some of them were just from the low voltage, and so you can see like that tack right there didn't seal anything. And then it started to get a little bit better and everything like that. But what you want to see is that there's like heat dissipation in both sides, so that it's actually melting the metal and then adding new metal in, so it's forming all three of them together. So we want good heat throughout, and you want like a good connection and seal. So this was one of my last pieces right here, and you can see that I turned it up a little bit and it was actually able to burn through. So I'm going to add a bit more speed and do another test pass, because obviously again these aren't pretty, but we'll keep going. And again, a lot of these are just trying different speeds out and different voltages, so these are obviously really terrible. Okay, again, I learned a little bit, and but this was a bigger gap than the first one. But again, it's solid enough to have decent welds. Again, it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but you know, neither is the E30. I think with a lot of things, it comes with practice. You know, the more practice that you do, the better you get at it, the more you learn. So for me, I would rather, you know, have a car to learn on and to teach myself how to do these things so that I can get better in the future, rather than paying for it and, you know, just saying, oh, somebody else can specialize in that. But in terms of the actual exhaust, we are just hooking that and following the exhaust shield until here, and then we go underneath the rear subframe, and then it will connect to the muffler that will sit right here. Easy as that, right? So we're just connecting this part to that part. That's all we're doing. So for the E30 and for this header style, it looks like it's a pretty straight shot. So all we'll need to do is just follow the exhaust channel and just go straight through. So the first part is the 3-inch flange that is supplied with the actual header. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna put a small straight on that is going to have a hole drilled in it for the O2 sensor, and then we are gonna put a flex pipe in. So I'm gonna get a small pipe and just cut a straight, and then we will weld it onto this guy. So the actual exhaust flange fits a full 3-inch. So we won't need to worry about like balancing it or anything like that. We can just get this flush and then just weld a bead on here, and that should be a nice, good start. So I've been still trying to learn and get better and mess around with different settings, and these are probably the ugliest welds that I've ever seen, but they should at least hold, and that's all we need, right? So I just cut another piece and we get underneath the car again. We say cool, this is connected to the headers. This we could see how we want to kind of rotate it. This is just a little bend, so we can kind of kick this up, we can kick it back, and we want to stay inside this heat shield area, so we'll probably kick it a little bit towards the back and just straight, and then up as well, so something like that, and keep it angled that way. So we just keep doing this. Next we're gonna put in the resonator, and that should get this whole area. So we are going to make some marks on this exhaust pipe so that we know the actual angle of it. Okay, each weld is getting slightly better. Again, they're very ugly, but it'll hold. So worst comes to worst, we pull it off and weld a new pipe when it starts up. But another test fit, we're gonna see if this is the right flare, and then we're gonna throw on this resonator and weld that one in. Perfect. Well, I'll be selling custom exhaust here soon, so hit me up if you guys are looking for some nice pieces. I'm totally kidding, obviously. I know my welding needs some work, but it'll do for now. Okay, so the 318IS only had one hole for the muffler, so we have to cut a portion out of it, the bumper, but you can see that there's dents and stuff on the bumper, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. So we're gonna cut a little hole and just etch out that part so the sick muffler can fit. So I could maybe bring it back a little bit more and have the kick out actually show, but I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like the dual tips. It has a nice look to it, you know? I think Beamers always look good with the dual tips rather than the single. So I need to smooth it out a little bit more, but we'll have that as the mock-up. Currently the exhaust exits right here, so all we need to do is connect this pipe to, I'll wait for it, that pipe. Now we could probably do one pretty decent straight right now, and then right around here we'll kick up and then have it meet the muffler. So I actually saved my old exhaust, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the hanger from this exhaust and weld it onto the new one. I also realized that I'm just gonna use this big ass straight, and it should get me a good amount away to the muffler, and then we'll just do one more pipe, and that should be good to go. Okay, so currently we have this absolute beautiful unit. I went ahead and welded the stock flange on, and that looks really good, so that's going to hold it up in place. And then all we have to do is like a small little cut on this guy, and then find a piece that mates the muffler to this piece. Nice. Okay, my last thought is to take a 90 and cut it in half, and then swivel one end one way and one end the other way so that I can get these two pipes to line up. You can see this one is coming out here and this one needs to go in right there. Okay, so check this out. We are so close, right? It's like, yeah, no, so close. Right, it's close to being there. The two 90s actually worked great, fantastic. But what I realized is that if you look on the actual, hold on, if you look on the actual subframe right there, the exhaust still has like a good amount to go right there. But my welded in stupid bracket, I messed up the bracket and didn't weld it in correctly. So the exhaust can actually come up another inch, I feel like. And that should give us a little bit more clearance. So I will cut that bracket off so that this exhaust can hopefully connect. Okay, so it has been a really long day. I've been going, I started at 9 o'clock and it is about 4 o'clock now. Just a whole bunch of testing and fitting and going back and doing just the back and forth. But this is one of the last pieces, which is sick. We have this piece and then we just have to put the muffler on and then the rest of the exhaust, and then make sure everything fits and get everything all set. So I'm gonna weld this piece up and we are almost done. Okay, so there is a bit of fitment issues that I'm just going to deal with tomorrow. The exhaust is all mocked up and it looks pretty good. It'll suffice, you know, and if it doesn't, then it's fine. You know, I am learning along the way. It's kind of fun to, you know, do the process and to fail and then try again and fail and then try again and, you know, find stuff that works. It's really easy to watch builds on YouTube and see how well it's done. And, you know, the people who have been building cars on YouTube have been doing it for a long time, and you know, it's always nice to throw yourself out of your comfort zone and actually learn. Will the exhaust last forever? I don't know. Will it have any leaks? I don't know. We'll find out when the car starts. I think that a lot of car building is just trial and error. And tomorrow will be a new day. And we will get the exhaust more fitted and in a better spot. And it just needs to be kind of shifted up a little bit. Better mounting brackets for the muffler to make sure that it's not twisted or anything like that. But overall, not terrible. If everything holds together, then I would say that it's a success. So you can see that the exhaust hangs down just slightly, but the car isn't all that low. I could have for sure tucked it up a little bit more, but at the same time, sometimes perfect fitment is always a little bit hard to do. I'm quite happy with my little S-bend. I think I did a pretty good job with that. But you can see that the exhaust isn't touching anything, so that's good. And it's being held up, so that's also good. So my issue has been with this back bracket. I need to have it being suspended on both sides rather than just the one. So as soon as I do that, the exhaust will tilt back upwards and be more at an angle. So yeah, it should be pretty sick. We got the little up kicks and that's super exciting. I'm really excited to hear this thing. But for now, I'm going to go take a break, get some dinner, and shower up, because being on the floor and being in the welding gases and everything, it's not always great. So it is a new day. As you can see, I did an outfit change. I feel a lot better rested, and we just have a couple more welds on this exhaust. Yesterday I also got a bunch of the Schwartz fittings and then we have the fuel pressure regulator, and then we have some AN fuel lines. So in the next video we are going to get the fuel lines all hooked up, and then what that leaves is the fluids, a couple sensors, and then bolting everything together and making sure that everything is all hooked up. And then as soon as the wire harness gets in, we will be able to plug it into the ECU and get everything all sorted. I'm gonna see if I can figure out piping for this. I kind of want to end it over here in this area. So if I can kind of figure out some piping and get everything all situated, I will order a new fan, most likely today, and we'll get a fan shroud and everything all up, but the E30 is almost done. Okay, so one thing that is insane is that this thing is incredibly light. I mean, obviously it's just a, you know, single piece, but it's super light. I know that, again, that's the goal of stainless steel and other exhausts. I know that other metals are lighter, but this thing, for being such a gigantic piece, very light. So I forgot to mention, if you guys are doing headers, you guys will need to add a flex pipe, and that's just for security so that the headers don't crack. Because if there isn't a flex pipe, then you're just yanking the headers from 30 feet away, or 15 feet, the full exhaust. So you always want to have some sort of flex pipe in there so that you won't crack your headers. So I marked up the muffler and the end of the tube, so I just need to do this weld and then that weld up top, and then the exhaust is all done. We can go for a final bolt up. Okay. So, here it is. The entire exhaust system done by yours truly. It is custom. It isn't incredible, but it will work. And that's all we can really ask for. So, a couple things. Again, obviously this exhaust isn't perfect, but I saved myself a good amount of money by doing it this way. I have taught myself a new skill, and I could see progression just by, by the end of the day. So, stainless steel is a little bit more difficult than welding regular steel, as it heats up a bit quicker and burns really fast. But at the same time, again, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. The E30 is a very small car, so the exhaust wasn't all that big, as you guys can see. But let's get this officially mounted and see how it looks. So like I said, I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. Again, for my first exhaust and, doing this in the garage on the floor with not much experience, I'd say it turned out pretty good. So I guess the only thing is to get it all started up and first of all see how it sounds, and second off see if there's any exhaust leaks. So I still need to weld in a bung for an O2 sensor, but that can be done at a later date before we get the car started. But next video will be either the AN fuel lines or the power steering lines. So we have a lot of stuff coming up and exciting stuff at that. So that's gonna end it for today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it.
If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. And until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.